Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hey everyone, welcome to day 11 of 21 days Python Masterclass. Today we are going to understand about Python tuples. So let's start. Today we'll cover what tuples are, how to create tuples, and how to access individual elements in a tuple, along with how tuples and lists they are different from each other. We'll also explore tuple packing and unpacking, and all this we'll cover with the help of some examples. So let's start. First of all, let's understand what are tuples in Python. Now, you have learned about lists, right? List is also a sequence data type where you collect different type of elements at one place. In similar fashion, tuples are also ordered collections of items. However, they are immutable. On the other hand, lists, they are mutable. We'll understand all these differences in some time. As of now, you need to understand that tuples, they are immutable ordered collections. Now, what do you mean by immutable and ordered? We'll understand that as well. So basically, Python tuples, they allow you to store multiple items at a single place with single name. So you can address all these items with one common name, and all these data items can be of different data types, right? Unlike lists, as I said, tuples, they are immutable, meaning their elements cannot be changed after creation. Once created, they are static. You can't change them, right? Also, you need to understand that tuples, they are ordered, means they maintain the order of elements as they were defined. So there is a place value associated with each and every element, right? So there are two examples. So you can create tuples in this fashion. My tuple is equals to, in the round brackets, we call them parentheses as well. In the round brackets, you separate the elements with a comma, right? Also, you can create elements without parentheses. If you put this way, that another tuple, that's the name, equals elements separated by comma, that will also create tuple. So this is, we'll learn about this packing and unpacking thing in today's session. So as of now, you understand that there are multiple ways to create a tuple. One, that you put it this way, elements inside the round brackets separated by comma, or you can also put it this way without parenthesis, elements separated by comma. Okay. Now, let's understand how do we create tuples and how do we access individual elements inside a tuple. To create a tuple, we can enclose elements in parentheses, as I have just said it. So tuple name, and then put round brackets, then item 1, comma, item 2, comma, item 3, and so on. And then you close the round bracket. You can create an empty tuple also by writing tuple name and then assigning it to empty parentheses, nothing inside it, just the empty parentheses. Okay. In case you want to create a tuple with single item, then you must include a trailing comma. For example, you want to just put 42 inside a tuple. Even then, you need to put a comma after it, right? To distinguish them from parentheses used for grouping. right? Normal variables also, we group them together by putting inside the parentheses. So you just need to distinguish your tuple from those elements. You just put a comma after the element. In order to access elements within a tuple, we can use indexing, like we use indexing with strings, we use indexing with lists. Similar fashion, you can use indexing to access elements within a tuple. So here also indexing starts with 0. We also have negative indexing where you access elements from the end with -1 being the last element. -1, -2, -3, and so on. We also can perform slicing. The same way we perform slicing on strings, we perform slicing on lists, you can perform slicing on tuples also. So to understand this, you can watch my day 8 video on strings and day 10 video on lists. This is one example to create a tuple. Let's say my tuple is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within parentheses. We create a tuple. In order to access second element, I have taken a variable name second element, second underscore element equals, this is tuple name, my underscore tuple, then square bracket 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how indexing is associated with each element. So to access second element, which is 2, index value is 1. So I'll write tuple name, then I'll write index value within square brackets. So that's how we access individual elements. Now let's understand how tuples and lists, they are different from each other. So I have created a table. So first thing that you need to understand is on the basis of mutability. Tuples, they are immutable. However, lists, they are mutable. So elements cannot be changed after creation. Once the tuple is created, you cannot change the value of the elements. However, in lists, elements can be modified after creation. Tuples, they are defined within parentheses, so round brackets, and elements, of course, are separated by comma. Whereas lists, they are defined with square brackets. So elements, they are kept inside the square brackets and elements are separated by comma. Item 1, comma, item 2, comma, item 3, and so on. Now, use cases, data that should remain constant, we use tuples for that. And wherever dynamic data that may change over the time, we can use lists in that case, right? This is one example. My tuple is equals to round brackets 1, 2, 3, and my list is equals to square bracket inside square brackets 1, 2, 3. So that's one example. Modification, attempting to change an element in a tuple will raise a type error, whereas you can change elements inside a list. Now we'll learn about dictionaries in one of my next upcoming videos. You need to understand that tuples, they are suitable for dictionary keys due to immutability. Now, dictionary keys are also immutable. So that is why we can use tuples for dictionary keys. However, as lists, they are mutable, so they are not suitable for dictionary keys. So these are some differences between tuples and lists, right? Now let's understand packing and unpacking. When we talk about tuple packing, that means it is basically a process of combining multiple values into a single tuple. And to do that, simply separate values with commas. So for example, I said you can create a tuple by putting elements within parentheses. However, there is another way of putting elements inside the tuple by just simply writing tuple name equals element separated by comma. So this is tuple packing. So we are just combining multiple values into a single tuple. And to do so, we just put the values separated by comma. Okay. Now, second thing is tuple unpacking. Now, this is basically the opposite of packing. This is a process of assigning values from a tuple to multiple variables. And how do we do it? We simply create variables and assign them values from the tuple in the order of the elements in the tuple. So let's have a look. So we have created this tuple here, my packed tuple, and it is having 1, 2, 3. Now these 1, 2, 3 values can be assigned to 3 multiple variables, and in order to do so, I'm just putting 3 multiple variables here, a comma b comma c, and then I'm assigning it to tuple name, and automatically these 3 values will be assigned to these 3 variables. So a will be having 1, b will be having 2, and c will be having 3. So this is known as unpacking. Okay, so packing, process of combining multiple values in a single tuple, and unpacking, assigning values from a tuple to multiple variables. Okay, so that's packing and unpacking. Now this is assessment time. Please have a look. Very simple assessment. Only 4 questions are there. Pause the video. Try solving these questions. Of course, I'm going to display answer key in the end, and then you can compare your answers. So all the best. Here is the answer key. I'll see you in the next video.